Oh my God. Let me show you what I got. This beat is so hot. Oh my God.
Is that bullshit?
I think not.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Candy Shop Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Clemons, and here with me are the Mike and Ikes themselves, Mike LaPlant and Ike Bonni, and today we are busting out our top 12 positional rankings. Well, I'm not. They are. They got lists of rankings. Guys, what's going on? Football right around the corner. How you feeling?
Good.
Fantastic. Doing a bunch of drafts. Ready to talk more football.
Yeah, I bet you are doing a bunch of underdog drafts, and you're always sending me stuff. And you got a little bit of a problem, but it's no biggie. I'm not here to judge you.
You guys are nerds too, just in your own right.
Of course, man. Of course. But before we jump into our rankings that we're doing, I just want to remind everybody, please smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Hit that bell for notifications so you know when a new podcast is uploaded or we go live. And then after that, head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans and become an all-access member where you get access to our award-winning rankings, our draft cheat sheets. Guys, we got fantasy football drafts in probably less than a month here now since we're creeping into August here pretty soon. You also get access to our F6P Discord where you can come and get custom advice for all your different leagues and all that stuff with the analysts at F6P. Go ahead and fantasy6pack.net/plans, and we have a 2-week free trial as well. But without further ado, are you guys ready to roll?
I mean, before we do, I don't know if you touched on the Sunday Social. That is a fun show that I am looking forward, to doing again. You guys got to check that out. At the very least, that you don't got to, subscribe to anything. We appreciate the subscriptions, but if you want more in depth on that Sunday Social show, that's where you make the big money with Dave Eddy, Keith Fleming, Chris Robin. They are like gurus when it comes to, putting a budget together for your DFS lineups. But yeah, sorry about that. I always got to credit them because Dylan, you know as well as I do that they help you make money.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Nothing like you hijacking the pod, man. It wouldn't be like it's any other show, man, But let's go ahead. Let's dive into the rankings here. Throw my these fancy slides you made up. Ike, start with your top 12.
I'd rather you start with the plans first.
Well, you're first on the
no,
list.
No, you're the ranker here. You start first.
So we got Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Ike, all the way up at 6. CJ Stroud, Kyler Murray, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams. I'm just going to come out and say it. You probably already know what's coming. Where is Mr. Anthony Richardson? Because I don't see him on here, pal.
Yeah, that's because you're not going to ever. He's at least
ever.
Yep. 15, quarterback 15, 16. I don't think he's going to stay healthy all year, so. But he's not on my list. Why are we talking about him? You need to be talking to LaPlant about that.
No,
why me? You got to explain yourself because you're like the only ranker I've seen like this whole offseason that doesn't have Anthony Richardson in their top 12, let alone top 10.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Hopefully I'm the one that is right about it. Like I said, he played in 4 games last year, and he got hurt in every single one of them except for 1. So 3 of the 4, one of them when he was knocked out for the whole year. And he hurt 3 major points of his body, head, knee, shoulder.
Yeah,
Not
the
great.
Injuries are definitely worrisome, but when he was on the field, he was putting up fantasy numbers, that's for sure. But I'm also worried about the injuries and looking at Fantasy Pros expert consensus rankings, he's going as QB5. I don't know if I'm honestly comfortable drafting.
That's high, man.
Because of honestly the depth at the position, but I understand the sexy ceiling that he possesses and the floor because of his rushing. But if you also use a draft pick on him that early, like I want to say his 4th round draft capital floating around somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
4 or
maybe.
5.
It could hurt you if he ends up getting hurt, but you might want to go like snag someone else later in drafts, like Jared Goff, who you have on this. list.
Nah,
You have
more
him
like
at-
Aaron Rodgers, someone you can get later, because Aaron Rodgers going like quarterback 18 to 20. Goff is more around 14.
Yeah,
And
I
if
mean,
you
I'm
want
a-
to wait, that's not a bad idea. Get Anthony. If you
I-
get Anthony Richardson, go get Aaron Rodgers late.
What
I-
makes
I know
you? Go ahead, LaPlant.
I was just gonna say, I know I'm the resident Packers fan here, but you're more high on Aaron Rodgers than me, and you're lower on Jordan Love than me. I know we haven't gotten to that yet, but
I mean, we can
gotta
talk
hear
about
you.
Jordan Love when we get to yours, but for Aaron Rodgers, he didn't play last year, obviously, but 2 years ago, he was still quarterback 13, and everyone was saying he had a down year with terrible weapons, barely any run game, and he was having struggles with the front office and basically the whole team. Now he gets a good weapons. He's got a really good running back. His offensive line is supposed to be good. So the track record's there too as well. Every time he's been healthy, he's been quarterback 1. So,
But that's the key word right there, healthy. You're projecting Anthony
Again,
Richardson's health, but
it's weird how it's weird that I think Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, but Anthony
coming off an
Richardson can't,
Achilles
but-
injury at age 42, and he's going to stay healthier than Anthony. I don't know, man.
Anthony Richardson will take more hits, more than likely.
I mean, that was last year. This offense could change. Maybe they don't run him as much. I mean, and it's just situational. But either way,
So they're going to make Anthony Richardson throw, which is something I would be absolutely terrified to be doing if I'm an offense coordinator.
I mean, he had another year to at least learn the playbook. Because the thing is
learn the playbook, but not actually throw because his shoulder's been jacked.
Yeah, but half of your development as a passer is being able to learn timing and the playbook, which he's got another year to.
And also having good passing mechanics that you can work on, which he hasn't been able to. So
and decent weapons, which he's got JT back. He's got Michael Pittman, Josh Downs.
JT will help take off a lot of pressure off him, so hopefully that helps.
Exactly. So I mean, he's the type of QB that doesn't need to throw 40 times a game like we've seen Herbert do in past years.
No, definitely not. But he needs to be running and scoring touchdowns, and maybe Jonathan Taylor would take some of those.
And he's, one of the most physically gifted specimens at QB that we've ever seen. You don't think he's just going to get naturally rushing touchdowns?
If he was a physically gifted specimen, he wouldn't have been hurt 3 out of 4 games.
NFL is a different game than college.
He ain't Cam Newton. He's not even Jalen Hurts.
All right, moving on here. Let's move on to the next guy. I see that Caleb Williams cracked your top 12. Number 1 overall pick to the Chicago Bears. What gives you? Why do you feel that he sneaks his way into the top 12 this season?
In 2 of the past 4 years, a rookie's has been in the top 12 quarterbacks, and one of the years it wasn't was the terrible class with what was his name, like Matt Corral and those idiots.
Pickett.
Yeah, and then the other year was Brock
Desmond
Purdy,
Ridder.
who actually was quarterback 9 in points per game, but he didn't play that many games. So, I mean, technically, you could say 3 of the past 4 years in points per game, rookie has been top 12. And I think Caleb has the weapons. He likes to get rushing touchdowns like Jalen Hurts does near the goal line. So, I think he can do it.
With your logic, he's going to get hurt. He's even more brittle than Anthony Richardson.
He's played every game in his college career when he became a starter.
NFL's different. Anthony Richardson didn't have an injury problem in college.
I mean, fair enough, but
he only played like 8 games.
Hey, I'm just saying the NFL's different. Like, yes, Caleb. I just think. I mean, Dylan, I really think you should just go to back and forth between the slides because I think the more likely QB to finish top 12 is James.
Oh, see, that's cool. Like, at least we both have a rookie in there, so I get it.
I just think it's more likely to be Jane Daniels. Like, we're talking more traditional 4-point.
Make the case.
4-point.
If he gets Brandon Ayuk, I like it.
I mean, I think even still with Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, he's got Austin Eckler just to dump off, get easy yardage if he decides.
He has Brian Robinson, not Austin Eckler. Come on.
Well, he's got Brian Robinson too. It's
Austin Eckler is washed.
It's on the Commanders to use Brian Robinson more in the passing game, and they just signed Austin Eckler, so I follow the money. So it's hard to see Brian Robinson getting more used in the passing game when they bring in Eckler. But either way, Jane Daniels is probably still going to run and scramble when it comes to third down. But if he doesn't, he's got the weapon to do it. I just think he's surrounded, not as good as weapons as Caleb Williams. He's got the edge when it comes to the weapons, because he's got DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift even. But I just think the rushing floor is just, Jane Daniels, his comp coming out of college, was Lamar Jackson, more than it was Anthony Richardson, even though, his athletic score was, up there like Anthony Richardson. But he's just a much better passer. I mean, we're talking about a difference of 12% completion rating between Lamar Jackson coming out of college and Jane Daniels coming out of college. I know better weapons be damned, but still, Terry McLaurin.
Was that just his last year? Or
3 years. Last 3 years.
I was going to say, because if it was just last year, it was like 70% or some shit.
No, I took the composite of 3 years because Lamar Jackson played 3 total years in college, where Jane Daniels played 5. So I was like, I'll just take the last 3. But yeah, it was astronomical, a 12% completion difference.
I think he's more like a Robert Griffin. Not that he's gonna get hurt, but he kind of plays like that.
Man, I heard a comp, and I wish I could remember who was the one that I heard it from. But Kyler Murray, he's just taller, but he's Kyler Murray. He's got a good deep ball. All right, he's gonna run. He's got Cliff
dances
Kingsbury.
A little bit too much in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray gets hurt because he dances too much. Jane Daniels got that potential to get hurt. I mean, but I think, if I'm betting on, if it was our league, which I know nobody cares about, which is, the 6-point passing touchdowns, 10 yards for a point. Okay, Caleb Williams gets the edge over Jane Daniels because I think Caleb Williams passes for more yards. But traditional leagues, I'm taking Jaden Daniels as the rookie quarterback this year.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear the case for it for sure. But before we move on to running backs, I just want to let you touch on Jordan Love here. I had him off his top 12 list. You have him sneaking in the top 10. He was the top 12 quarterback last year. You just think he's got that upside again, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he finishes the top 12 quarterback last year. Granted, it was QB injuries and whatnot, but still, we've seen this before from him. And I was looking at it; he has 7 top 10 finishes. I mean, I know we're doing 12, but top 10 is even better. 7 top 10 finishes last year.
Math.
They didn't lose any key pieces. In fact, they gained one in Josh Jacobs to take the load off of him. So I just think we're going to see a more efficient Jordan Love. Believe it or not, after the second half of the stretch he had. But the weapons are also going to get better. Jaden Reed, Christian Watson with his hamstring issue. I think that's going to be a big factor. Hopefully he stays healthy. And then you got, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks, and, Bo Melton. They drafted Marshawn Lloyd. So it's hard to see Jordan Love take a step back. And I hate the fact that I even rank CJ Stroud over Jordan Love. Because I think they're kind of in the same tier, especially, if you talk to JJ, when we were doing the show. I really do think that they are in the same tier. It's just Stroud has better weapons.
That's why I think the difference is there. He's throwing Stephon Diggs.
Jordan Love offers
a little bit of a different.
It's a higher rushing floor for Jordan Love. Stroud just doesn't run the ball. I mean, he had 3 rushing touchdowns, but only 180 yards.
Neither of them really do. So I'm not. Yeah, I would not rank Jordan Love over CJ Stroud.
That's not true. Jordan Love had 247 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns last year. That's more than CJ Stroud. It's more than Stroud.
Well, that's fine.
That's what I'm saying. It's the rushing though. It takes less rushing yards than passing yards to get you.
I just feel like Stroud has 40 plus passing touchdown upside. Jordan Love doesn't.
And Jordan Love doesn't.
These weapons.
No, Jordan Love is
now with these weapons.
Jordan Love
I
had
could see
32
30
touchdowns last
I was
year.
gonna say I could
That's
see
fine. He can
35.
easily regress. It's really hard to get 30
Jordan Love had
touchdowns
more
every year.
touchdowns. Jordan Love had more touchdowns than CJ Stroud did last year. More yards.
That's fine. And
Yeah,
CJ
but
Stroud's
CJ Stroud
weapons
just got more
better.
weapons.
And there's going to be more trust in the offense this year. I mean, it's fine. You could make the case for it. I would not be ranking Jordan Love over CJ Stroud. But hey, you didn't either. So
No, that's why I said I hate to do
Yeah,
it.
you
as
guys
a
are
Packer
just
fan.
fucking talking.
But we can go ahead and move on to the running backs now. I think everyone's consensus is Christian McCaffrey. He's going to be the RB1 if he stays healthy. Ike has, and then followed by Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley.
I really
Gibbs.
should have switched 2 and 3.
You can make a case for either, I feel. Derrick Henry, Jonathan
Yeah, they're
Taylor,
both really
Alvin
close.
Kamara, Travis Etienne, Joe Mixon sneaking in the top 10, Kyron
That one's
Williams,
interesting.
11, James Cook,
Luke.
bringing in last here in the 12. And just one flash mics on the screen here. One big glaring difference here is Kyron Williams. Mike, you have him at 6. Ike has him at 11. Ike, I'll let you start. Why are you a little bit down on Kyron Williams, considering the consensus has him as RB8?
That's fine. We're like right in the middle, me and LaPlant. Or the consensus is right in the middle.
Yeah.
But I just think he loses some touches. So and he won't obviously be able to repeat his 12 to whatever touchdowns he got.
So he loses some touches. He was only
15 total touchdowns last year, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
I know, but we're talking about a guy here. You know, if he was healthy, he was averaging more touches than CMC. He was going to average more, touches in the league than Christian McCaffrey.
There's a reason they drafted Blake Corum, and there's a reason why, because he couldn't handle that workload.
That's kind of I made that point on the Dino Fantasy Dynasty podcast last night with Mike as well. I made that same point. So go ahead and explain yourself again, Mike.
It's just Sean McVay's system, Mike. In his 7 years as a head coach, you know how many average rushing attempts he's had a year? I'll give you a guess.
And every one of them gets hurt. So he has to change something up.
No, just total team rushing attempts.
Oh, I thought. Well, they always give a workload to the dude, obviously, but they need to stop that.
442 rushing attempts a year on average. Sean McVay's offense provides for running backs, and that's just in total. All right, now we're predicting Kyron and Blake Corum to be the 1 and 2, right?
What are you talking about, Zach Evans, bro? No, I'm kidding.
But I mean, let's say Kyron Williams gets 250. I mean, that leaves another 170 for Corum, and that's being generous for Corum. Let's say it's more like 275 and more like 150 for Corum.
He can't handle 275. What in the hell? Little Kyron? No way.
I'm just saying there's plenty of volume to go around here when you're throwing around 442 rushing attempts a year, and when you're only projected to have really 2 guys in the mix. All right, and Kyron Ike, I don't know if you forgot about him, but he's obviously better than Corum.
How do you know that? Corum hasn't played yet.
Because last year,
to be honest, Corum's a better prospect than Kyron Williams.
Corum dropped 28 touchdowns last year in college.
Yeah.
If we're going off college player, he smashes Kyron. That's all you can do.
He's the better prospect, Corum.
There's no other way of comparing him now.
But Kyron is the better NFL player because we've already seen it from him. Last year, he had more evaded tackles than Jahmyr Gibbs and Raheem Mostert.
I have no rebuttal to that because I can't say
that's my point. Like, if we were playing college fantasy football, then okay.
Well, no, you can't because they're not on college. They're not in college football anymore.
Exactly.
So
you're putting too much stock into Blake Corum just because of his prospect status.
Isn't that what you do though?
But we've already seen Kyron dominate. Like you're looking at, all right. Who was a guy drafted last year to come in and take workload away from somebody? Oh yeah, Tank Bigsby. How well did that go for Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby? Yeah, ETN still, maintain the full workload, and they're still trying to push that news down our throat.
I mean,
this
a
year.
better one probably would have been Tyjae Spears, but
still, there's so many, we overreact on these guys just investing in depth.
I mean, he affected Derrick Henry enough to where he wasn't as good as he was.
He still finished as the top 12.
I still have Kyron top 12.
But
you're
I
too
think
low
It's
they,
not
on him.
6.
they invested in depth, I think, because even that they're not sure that Kyron can handle the workload that he saw last year because he couldn't. I mean, he could maybe he does, maybe he works
if
on
he
his
does,
body. He's
sure,
another
yeah.
year in the NFL, but
But
I
that
don't
just
know.
means he's going to be more efficient. And we're
You
talking
gotta
about
expect
a guy,
his touchdowns to probably come down.
we're talking about a guy that had a higher juke rate than CMC and Bijan Robinson last year. Like, if he gets less touches, it's just going to, cause him to be more efficient, which could even out the touchdowns.
We'll see.
Yep,
We'll see.
And then, like, just checking while we're still on yours, I see Alvin Kamara as
Thank you,
running
finally.
back 8. And
Thank you.
ECR
Finally, I want
has
to talk
him
about Alvin.
RB 15, and Mike does not have him in his top 12 either. What's your take on Alvin Kamara? Why you got him so high?
I had him in my RB sleepers, actually. Go check it out if you want.
It's
He-
a selfless,
Sick
selfless plug. That's what it was. That's the only reason he's in the top 10. Is
No,
just for the plug of the sleepers.
He
article.
was inefficient last year. It's actually been getting worse every year, like his
He's
yards per
old.
carry. But
So we put him in the top 10, huh?
But his targets is actually going up with Derek Carr. He once again saw 80 targets, which I love in PPR running backs, and he's going to see it again
Because
if Derek Carr
Derek
stays healthy.
Well,
because
that's going to
Derek
happen.
Carr's shoulder was bummed out, and all he could do was dump it off to Kamara.
No, I don't think so. I think it has to do with the offensive line being terrible. And he has to
that's
dump
a
it to Alvin
combination, too.
Kamara. And the offensive line is still terrible.
And
I saw
Kamara was
Ryan
RB3 in
Ramczyk-
fantasy points per game last year. So
Yeah, that's fair. And and their best offensive lineman starting on the pup, I think I saw. It's not looking good. The Saints, I feel like, could have an absolute nightmare season.
Like
they're going to have to rely on Kamara and Olave. And Shaheed, maybe.
Alvin Kamara played one more game than Kyron Williams last year and finished as RB11. Kyron Williams finished as RB7. And yet you have Alvin Kamara at 8 and Kyron at 11. Do you see where the math is not mathing for
Kamara
you?
has a better track record. He's going to see more targets, and he's probably going to see more carries. His touchdowns will probably go up because in his career he
Kamara's
usually
going to
averages
see more
around 6.
carries?
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy that probably averages 190 carries a year. Like, he does not get over 200 rushing attempts.
Do I
This is
have
the
to go and
passing
really
game.
look it up?
I'll look it up for you. I got it right here. All right, so in his 7-year career, he has had over 200 rushing attempts twice.
And 2 of them in the past 3 years. So
That is correct. But you're banking on an older running back.
and he had 180 in 12 games last year, so he was well on his way 200 plus there too. So next,
I mean,
think
because he's a PPR monster.
I was gonna
That's what
say,
I'll give
Mike,
you.
he's not banking on the carries from Alvin Kamara. He's banking on the receptions and doubling the amount of receptions than what Kyron Williams is gonna have. And we're talking PPR. I get the argument. I also get your argument at Kyron Williams, but one that interests me looking at Mike's list is you having Jahmyr Gibbs down at RB8. Ike has him at RB5. And
That's not that bad.
Consensus has him as RB4. Why are you down on Jahmyr Gibbs, man?
It's the same reason I talked about it on the podcast with JJ last night. It's similar. You go into it. It's good podcasting, Dylan. It's just like Alvin Kamara. It's just we're talking about a guy that there's only 2 running backs that finished in the top 12 last year with under 200 rushing attempts, and there's Jahmyr Gibbs and Alvin Kamara. And Gibbs did it in 15 games compared to Kamara's 13, like we said he played. So I just I think Montgomery is still going to be so much in the mix. He had 15. He was 15th in the league in rushing attempts last year, despite playing one less game than Gibbs. So it's just a matter of the ceilings knocked down dramatically. He's still a top 10 running back, and he's still going to give you the explosive weeks, but he's also going to give you the weeks where Montgomery, probably takes 2 touchdowns.
He probably shouldn't be drafted ahead of Saquon. That is kind of weird.
I agree. That's why I couldn't, I looked at Etienne last year. I'm like, Etienne finished his RB3, and
it was a weird RB3, that's for sure.
But we've seen it before.
But that wasn't points, at least points per game.
Etienne also had a fantastic start to the season and started to fizzle out once he was commanding that huge workload that he had, which I don't know if I see him seeing that once again, because we saw him break down towards the end of the year.
I like the Etienne in top 10 though, not so much Pacheco.
I was gonna say
RB7 in fantasy points per game for Travis Etienne.
Yeah, like I was going to say earlier, Jahmyr Gibbs is probably the 1B of sexiest picks in the fantasy draft. The 1A is Devon Achane, and he squeaks into Mike's top 10 here, and he is going as the consensus RB10. So Mike's right there with consensus. Mike, what gives you the I'm stumbling over this word. I can't figure it out. What gives you
the
balls?
The chutzpah.
Yeah, sure, to rank him in the top 10. And because, he's not even the lead back at his RBBC. His running back by committee. What are your thoughts?
I mean, he's projected to be this year. Is what ADP and the general consensus is projecting him to be. They still got Raheem Mostert, but come on, are they going to use Raheem Mostert as many times as they did last year when he broke down? Also,
he's healthy. I think so. Why not?
But they don't want to hurt Devon Achane or whatever. So
Achane's not built to carry a massive workload. That's my worry. I feel like he's best suited as.
I understand,
but you can get top 12s like that. He can be efficient like Kamara was in his early days. Get some targets and get touchdowns. So it can be done. I have him like RB13. So it's close.
The Dolphins had 2 running backs in the top 5 in fantasy points per game last year, and Mostert and Achane. It's possible in this offense for them to both be supported. Even if Achane only plays 11 games, he's just that explosive. So it's hard to not put him in your top 12 with just the type of games that he can have on any given week. Because you saw it last year with the Broncos game. That inflated his numbers big time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it's, he has the capability to reach that ceiling. And if he does it 2-3 times in a year, he's going to finish in the top 10 just on those, keeping him afloat in there with those big performances. So it's hard to keep him out of the top 10, let alone top 12.
Why is Josh Jacobs there?
Because we're talking about a guy who's finished his RB1 before in his career, and he's on the best offense he's ever been on. He's only played in one playoff career game ever. And I expect that to change this year. But best offensive line he's had, best QB he's had. Maybe not the best weapon combination, but it's not like the worst either. It's not like he's, going into the Patriots offense where they're going to stack the box on the, whatever quarterback starts the year there. So I just think Josh Jacobs, even if it's a split workload, he can pull off the Aaron Jones season where he can finish top 12 just based on efficiency. He's going to get, the touchdown, the red zone work too. And the Packers project to be a top 10 scoring offense. So there's going to be plenty of red zone opportunities for Jacobs to finish with 10 plus touchdowns. The same reason Derrick Henry is in, the top 12 as well, because he's on a good offense.
Derrick Henry is going to score so many touchdowns.
That's my thought with Josh Jacobs is I think there's going to be a 10, possibly 15 touchdown season here for Josh Jacobs.
You just told me Jordan Love has 40 touchdown upside this
He
season.
thinks the Packers are fucking
Josh Jacobs
big money, and they're not. They're going to get dethroned by King of the North, Caleb.
Did you not hear me say he's going to play the Aaron Jones role where he's actually going to be used in the passing game? Like, he was used in college and projected to be used as. Like, this guy is a good pass catching back. Like, he's going to have receiving touchdowns. Just, maybe it's like 10 rushing touchdowns and 5 receiving touchdowns, or maybe you want to even it out even more. But that's a realm of possibility here with this offense.
Yeah, it's also in the realm of possibility that he stinks now because he's coming off the most efficient season of his career.
He hasn't declined each year for the past 3 years like Aaron Jones, though.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't hit the
Yeah.
age cliff yet. He just might not be good anymore.
But that's the
Hopefully-
thing. They drafted
him.
Marshawn Lloyd, so he doesn't have to have a 300 carry workload. He doesn't need it. He just needs, 200, 225 touches and an efficient offense. And, man, that's a top 12 running back.
Hot diggity dog.
Moving over to the wide receivers, looking at Ike's list here. He's got Jamar Chase cracking the number 1 spot. You don't see that often, Ike. What's your thoughts here?
I also wrote about this at one time. There hasn't been a
Yeah, this is just plug after plug for you.
Yeah, man, I love it. There hasn't been a repeat wide receiver 1 since Antonio Brown, which was I don't know. You guys can do the math, like 6-8 years ago. Who knows? Whatever. So that eliminates CeeDee Lamb. Tyreek Hill. I think that offense takes this. I think that offense
absolutely no chance.
Amon-Ra will see the targets, but I don't think he'll get the yards there. I think Jamar Chase can get 1,600 yards, 10 plus touchdowns. He's going to be insanely targeted by Burrow. I just think it's his year, man.
Oh, T. Higgins ain't looking for a contract or anything, huh?
You act like T. Higgins is an alpha or even a beta. He's just a dude. We've noticed this.
You act like it when you wanted the Bears to sign him.
Because I thought at one point he'd be a fine number 2 or 3. Now he would be 4th on our team.
You take Keenan Allen over T. Higgins right now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what we're talking about right now.
Dylan, I want you to clip this.
I'm not answering nothing.
No, I don't have to answer anything. Just clip it on Opus so we can hear him say that he'd rather have Keenan Allen than T. Higgins.
I definitely would.
You got it.
T. Higgins can run one route, and that's straight, pretty much. Keenan Allen constantly gets open.
He's got Tyreek Hill, number 2, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 3, CD 4, Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, all the way
Everyone's
down.
going to talk blah, 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 blah.
What's your worry here with Justin Jefferson? Is it the same with me? I feel like the Vikings are due for a season of hell this year. The quarterback play scares me. What are your thoughts here with Jefferson?
You nailed it right there, man. I don't think Sam Darnold is going to be able to produce. I'm even scared for him to finish top 12 because I don't know if Sam Darnold can do it. I don't know if he can. And everyone's talking up how Aaron Jones is the guy in Minnesota right now. They're going to rely on Aaron Jones. He's like the sleeper pick for running back, so he's going to get a lot of touches apparently. You still got Jordan Addison, I suppose, and then you got TJ Hawkinson coming back at some point. I'd rather see JJ McCarthy playing, but even then,
rookie quarterbacks
I don't know if he can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is like established wide receivers can, be still good. There still be a finish as a wide receiver 1, even if it's a rookie quarterback, but he's just not going to finish top 5.
If he does, then he'll definitely assert his dominance as the best wide receiver in the league.
It's the touchdowns.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got Devontae Adams 8, Puka Nacua 9, Drake London 10.
Devontae Adams is spicy, Ike. That's the one I want to ask you about. I know Dylan's the moderator here, but what's Devontae Adams going on here? They got Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. JJ's high on him. Like what?
I hope it's Gardner Minshew. I really do. Because Gardner Minshew was able to get Michael Pittman into the top 12 last year, and Devontae Adams is like 5 times better than him in every single way, shape, and form.
I want to know the formula you got to get to 5 times, but we can, elaborate that off.
It could be 10 times if you want me to say that. That just seems mean to Michael Pittman. So I cut it in half.
That's funny. One guy I want to bring up to you guys here is Drake London. Both of you have him as your 10th wide receiver. Mike, I'll just let you start. We haven't seen it from Drake London. Hell, we haven't seen wide receiver 2 numbers from Drake London. So what gives you the hope, what gives you that we're going to get him in a top 10 season this year?
The same hope you have that Kyle Pitts is going to finish in the top 10. It's all hopes and dreams right
Turkey,
now.
man.
It's just we've seen less of Drake London than we've seen of Kyle Pitts, so there's more. There's potentially more ceiling here untapped because we have had quarterbacks that can't get a deep ball wide receiver, an accurate deep ball, and Kirk Cousins comes in and he can actually get this done. So I just think there's a higher touchdown, ceiling here for Drake London, and also like. I mean, would you be shocked if he gets a 1,200 season, 1,200 yard season on like 80 to 90 catches?
I'm thinking 130.
Mike Evans. I'm thinking Mike Evans clone.
Yeah.
Like now that he's got a good quarterback here. So like when Mike Evans got a good quarterback in Tom Brady, he was instant top 10. And who knew that Baker Mayfield could support Mike Evans to do the same? But if Baker Mayfield could do it, why can't Kirk Cousins do it when he's been, supporting Justin Jefferson as a top 5 wide receiver for the past 3 years?
And Thielen was also pretty good with him too. He made Jordan Addison pretty good last year.
The only thing stopping it's a torn Achilles that Kirk's trying to come back from.
I get it.
We don't know. We don't know if he's going to come back.
But let's be realistic. Guy. Michael Penix is not your average rookie either. Behind him, like I still think he can.
It's because he's old.
It's true. He's got Kenny Pickett vibes. He's got Kenny Pickett vibes, but he's got a better arm than Kenny Pickett to where like
gotta have bigger hands too.
Yeah,
he still was able to throw deep passes to Rome Odunze, Javon Baker, in that Washington offense. So I still think like Drake, it won't be a top 10 season, maybe top 15 for Drake London with Michael Penix, but still. It's better quarterback play all around.
You got to rank that way. It's going to be.
No, I'm saying with Penix. Penix is probably 15. You lower the ceiling a little bit.
Then I just want to get DK in there. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
DK there. Pula Nakua. That's
one.
Who that?
Number 9, Mike. Let's touch base on Marvin Harrison Jr. here. Rookie in your top 10. In that Arizona offense with Kyler Murray chucking him the football. What are your thoughts on Marv here?
Marv.
We're talking about a bona fide, you want to talk about prospects. This guy's the best prospect to come out since what Larry Fitzgerald?
These knees.
Calvin Johnson.
Justin Jefferson, probably.
No, Justin Jefferson was drafted top 5. Justin Jefferson was drafted.
There we go. No, Jamar Chase. That's who I was trying to think because he
Jamar
was
Chase
generational talked.
I'll give you Jamar Chase. And Jamar Chase in his rookie year finishes wide receiver 5 with a good quarterback in Joe Burrow. Kyler Murray is a quarterback that has finished top 10. We've seen him support Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, when he was there. So it's possible here. Outside of Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison comes into the best situation a rookie is coming into this year.
It's fair. Yeah, I like Marv too, man, and I have no problem where you have him ranked. Just curious, do you know where you have him at in yours?
Who, Marvin?
Him in the top 12. Yeah, you have old man Cooper Kupp ahead of Marvin Harrison. Actually.
Oh yeah,
still high on Cooper Kupp, huh?
Yeah, I'm giving him one more chance. Plus, even when he came back in the second half of the year, he still was a wide receiver or top 12 wide receiver with Puka Nacua.
Sure.
They're both wide receiver ones. So.
Oh, now you say it's Puka now that I changed it, huh?
Pula. 12, it can be, honestly, 5 different guys. It could be Stephon Diggs, it could be DK, it could be Marvin, it could be – it's so deep at wide receiver this year, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it.
I agree there for sure. Switching over to tight ends, Ike firing back with Travis Kelce as his tight end one, Mark Andrews, Sam Laporta, Kyle Pitts, Dalton Kincaid, Trey McBride, George Kittle, Evan Ingram, Jake Ferguson, David Njoku, Dallas Goedert, TJ
Hawkinson's the iffy one because I don't know if he's going to be able to come back, though.
I also don't like Dallas Goedert in your top 12 either.
If you go to my top if you go to my top 12, I think I have Hawkinson at no. Okay, I put him at 13. He's like at 13, 14. Because I think when he comes back, he'll get enough. Like tight ends are not high scoring to where he can possibly scrape into that low end tight end one range.
8-3, sweet.
Like, why do you think Travis Kelce's still the man, the myth, the legend? Why he's gonna stay at the tight end one spot?
Well, he didn't finish his tight end one last year, but he was in fantasy points per game, and it's because he missed that one game and then one at the end. If he didn't miss those games, he'd be another tight end one, which was every year except for the one Mark Andrews took. So you can't bet against him. Who else is in that offense right now except for him except for some young guys and Hollywood Brown?
You can bet on Father Time.
Yeah, maybe he's given up. Maybe Taylor Swift's got him thinking married. Maybe, who knows? But
I was trying to think of
that's the dude.
I was trying to think of a Taylor Swift pun song there.
I don't even like Travis
Not that
Kelce, and I
clever.
have him number one.
We are never, ever, ever getting back together as Travis Kelce is the tight end one.
Decent, Mike. But like, why?
At least I'm not.
I'm curious here your thoughts. What separated Mark Andrews and Sam Laporta for you here?
It's really close. I'm just going to go with Mark Andrews, who should be the first or second option in that offense. And Sam Laporta, obviously, more than likely will be second, but could be third or even fourth because Gibbs and Jameson Williams, if Jameson Williams takes that next
How
lead.
dare you? How dare you with that Sam Laporta slander? He's the number 2 option in that offense behind Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Could be 3 behind Gibbs, though.
You really think Gibbs is going to get more targets and reception than Sam Laporta did?
Man, it's Goff. Goff gave Gurley a shit ton of targets at one point, so you never know.
Yeah, because they're all lines.
But Sam Laporta with Jameson Williams back wasn't that great, but I can see the allure of
that's the
having
thing.
him,
That's
I
the
guess.
thing is if Jameson Williams doesn't hit, then Sam Laporta is going to have a great season.
Sure.
If Jameson Williams doesn't hit, I still think Sam Laporta is, he's a top 2 weapon in this offense for Jared Goff. Jared Goff, when he was with the Rams, always made the tight end relevant in Tyler Higbee. So
He also rocked off 10 touchdowns as a rookie. I don't see that happening again.
I'm not betting on the touchdowns. I'm betting on the volume here.
Yeah, sure. I get it.
Looking at both of your guys' lists, flopping back and forth. Mike has Dalton Kincaid at 3. Ike, you have him at 5. What's making you think he's top
I almost
5
wanna put him
tight end
higher.
worthy here?
I almost want to put him higher.
Why?
Like,
Who would you move him up over Kyle?
Probably.
Kyle.
Okay.
LaPlant, you do have him over Kyle Pitts, so
I do, but
explain
I almost
yourself.
wanted to put him higher over McBride. I like McBride though. And it's just because like Kincaid. Oh, I did put him over.
You do have
McBride.
him ahead of McBride.
Wow, I'm okay. I guess I do believe it. It's
So
all right.
consciously.
So
Oh, yeah, now it's set in stone, man. Now you can't change your mind.
it's because he's the number 1 option, I think, in that offense for the Bills. All right, probably the
Josh
number
Allen's
2.
the number 1 option, but he can be number 2.
Probably the number 2 option is
Is he
James
gonna catch his
Cook.
own passes?
He might try it this year, man. Who knows? The dude's freaking weird.
Pull a Marcus Mariota. Oh,
going
go
on,
back. It just restarted. All right, there you go.
But we're good.
You don't go forward at the end. That's the end. But I think he's the number 1 option here. They're in a good offense. We're still projecting the Bills to be a top, 5, top 10 offense. So that's why I have him over McBride. But man, it's the reason I like McBride is the run after the catch ability. Like this guy reminds me of George Kittle in his prime. And I don't think George Kittle is still in his prime. And that's why I have him at 9.
Dude, the first 6 tight ends this year are actually good. Before it was like, man, if you don't hit
I'm good
the
with
first
any
2
of the
tight
top
ends,
8.
I'm hosed. But now
good
it's
with
like,
any-
all right, cool, I got a shot.
We
Any
know
of the
you're
top
good
eight-
with your
yeah.
7th. We know you're okay with your 7th guy, man. Evan Ingram.
Well,
There's,
8 is
you need
where
to
I
find
call.
someone who
I'm
loves
okay with George Kittle, too,
Evan
if we
Ingram
can
like
get
Mike
later.
LaPlant does. Yeah, I'm okay
Eight-
with George Kittle too.
8
David
is where I call it
Njoku.
quits. I don't really want Kittle.
Njoku
really
might
don't.
be like I'm fine with Jake Ferguson. I have him like a little bit later, but even
you're-
his fine.
If you're playing best ball, okay, give me Kittle. But redraft, dude, do you want to like you hate your
It's
life?
pretty
when-
frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'd much rather play the frustration of David Njoku at that point because I at least think he's going to get more involved in the offense.
And he's a beast.
I don't know
I'm
about
high
that
on
with
Pat.
Deshaun Watson, man.
I'm high on Pat Fryermuth this year because of Arthur
The
Smith
man.
coming over. Arthur
Yeah,
Smith
because
coming over with his.
Arthur Smith did so much with
For
Kyle Pitts as his tight end. Yeah.
It's not that. It's just the involvement of the tight ends. All right, because Arthur
Last
Smith.
time Russell had a big white tight end, he got Jimmy Graham to tight end top
Arthur-
whatever. So
Arthur Smith
Fair.
used the tight ends the most last year out of any head coach, and I mean
Just
behind
not
Pat
the good one.
Fryermuth, you're right. But behind Pat Fryermuth is Darnell Washington. I mean, I mean,
6 touchdown season incoming for that guy.
okay.
250 pounds.
All right, no, I'm betting on Pat Fryermuth there, especially with a better quarterback playing Russell Wilson. So
I'll just wait till it's Justin Fields running. around.
Everyone in that Pittsburgh offense gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. I feel like they're just gonna run
Even
the ball,
Pickens?
run the ball,
I
run
like
the ball.
Pickens.
But is Pickens,
If it's Russell,
is Pickens? Can he be a volume wide receiver? Can that be his shtick? I don't know if I see it, man. What do you think?
he really only has a couple routes that he's really mastered. So I'm just more banking on like the DK Metcalf type role for him.
He's doing the dice thing a little too much. That's really all
No,
he's got.
You guys are goons.
Oh man. But let's close it out, guys. Let's talk a little bit about Dallas Goedert. He still sneaks into your top 12. I think both of you guys, right? Yeah, 11 and 12. But guys, he's now the 4th target on this offense, behind AJ Brown, behind Devonta Smith, behind Saquon Barkley. Why? And his efficiency dipped so low last year. Like I dropped the stat. Like he was ranked 32nd in average depth per target at tight end. 32nd.
We're starting to run out of tight ends here, Dylan.
and we're targeting tight ends on good offenses.
I don't
What
want to
about-
commit. I'm scared of Brock Bowers to start the year off until I see something. Who else?
What about our guy Dalton Schultz? You got Cole Kmet still. Luke
Cole Kmet
Musgrave,
is 5th
you got
option,
Hunter
probably.
Henry.
No, thank you. I want guys on better offenses. Like I still think the Eagles' offense is better than the Dalton Schultz's offense with the Texans. It's for sure better than the Patriots' offense. It's better than the Bears. I mean, there's double digit touchdown upside here with Dallas Goedert. Just on
Yeah,
the
once you
offense,
get after
more.
top 8, 9 tight ends, it's not great. Top 10, I'd say. Yeah, that's
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, but 8 is much deeper than
what it was
top
before.
3 guys that we were comfortable with last year, the year before. It was getting a little sketchy, but it's
Yeah, I
nice
like it
with
now.
the influx of rookies last year that we
The
got.
wide receivers
Definitely
deep
seemed
too.
to help
Quarterbacks
things.
deep.
Yeah,
Running back not
quarterbacks
so
deep.
much.
Yep, that's for sure. But guys, you got anything else to add, or can we go ahead and wrap this thing up? Go ahead, pull this off the screen. That was a lot of fun, fellas.
Look at the candy.
Ike's a damn goon for having Caleb Williams in his top 12, but not Anthony Richardson.
Oh my!
That's my recap.
Everyone's so high on Anthony Richardson.
You're high on Caleb Williams, you damn Bear fan.
Who wouldn't be high on him? Come on.
I
You
mean,
guys are
He
both
just
probably
oozes
high.
potential.
huh?
He oozes potential.
Oozes potential, but we've never seen anything. He could break his leg in the first week, and there goes that.
Don't you put
Whoa,
that
whoa,
juju
whoa,
out
whoa.
there? What is wrong
I
with
would
you?
never wish it. I would never wish it, even though you Bear fans have wished it upon our Packer quarterbacks
Never
over
in
the
my
years.
life.
Never, huh? I've definitely heard you firsthand. But that's
Never.
besides the point. I would never wish it, but he is all untapped potential, and he has no floor yet.
King of the North.
Absolutely no floor. We have no idea what he's
King
going to
of the
offer
North.
us.
King of the North.
So that's why it's like, man, I mean, we at least know what we got with Anthony Richardson with 4 games. It's still more than Caleb Williams.
Thank you, math. There it is again. But all right, guys, that wraps up the show this week. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday, with an episode dropping. Please smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel and head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans and make sure to take advantage of that 2-week free trial. But until next week, for Mike and Ike, I'm Dylan, and the candy shop is closed.
Peace. Bye.